We are back on a very rainy Monday morning here in Ontario to talk to you about getting more reaction strikes from using rattles. Listen to those things click away. Over the weekend, I was fishing some very cold, shallow weed, and I noticed when I flipped my jig into the holes and I couldn't get any bites. And as soon as I used my rod tip to shake that rattle and make some noise just above the weeds, I start getting fish to come up out of the weeds to hammer down on bait. Rattles is a great way to turn fish from 0 to 100 real quick. They hear that and rather than maybe a bite because they're hungry, you get a bite just because it's programmed into a largemouth bass to see something flashing, make a noise, and smoke it. And I guarantee it's gonna put more fish into your boat. Most of the time when we're dunking, flipping jigs like these, you just toss them in the holes. When fishing's tough, sometimes, getting that little extra sound and keeping that jig up and moving will get you a whole ton of aggressive bites that'll happen. I do the same thing for smallmouth. Earlier in the summer, I was fishing really deep docks. I knew there was smallmouth on them, but there was also some good-sized largemouth around, so I used a tube head with a rattle. Tubes are great for fishing docks. It's probably a very overlooked thing. Tubes are incredibly easy to skip under docks, pontoon boats, but when this hits the water, it's gonna give this. And just like your flipping jig is mimicking, bait fish and crawdads, your tube is doing the same thing. And that, just subtle, sounds a whole lot like crawdad pinchers. So when it's tough, I'm gonna put the rattle on. Or if I'm fishing a really heavy pressured area for smallmouth, sometimes if you're the only guy using a rattle on your tube, you're gonna get a couple more hits. So pay attention, use your rattles to call in those big, mean brown and green fish, and I guarantee you, shaking that rod tip a little extra, especially when it's tough, it's gonna get you a whole lot more bites.
Boom! Oh, check that out. Look where that tube is. He crushed that. Oh man, that's the one I saw follow that smaller fish out. Whoo!